Welcome to the Bougie Multipreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Hillary Heschauer Jones. Tune into my show where we discuss how to attract more money so you can spend more money. Welcome back to the Bougie Multipreneur. I'm your host, Dr. Hillary Heschauer Jones. I'm a chiropractor, a business coach, and a multi-business owner. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite and hardest parts of being a business owner. Can you guess it? Staffing. I mean, have you ever thought, why can't I just find and keep good people? Then this podcast is the right one for you today. Let's get down and talk about the reality of staffing, right? And if you're rolling your eyes and going, then you know, and I know, it is a lot of work, right? So let's learn something today together. I'll share some real life stories of my staffing, and it's ever changing. It's a constant cycle. It's not you find one staff and they stay with you the rest of your business life, right? So, with my chiropractic businesses and et cetera, and event center, we rely on the strong teams, right? Especially in chiropractic. Your team really makes you, because as a chiropractor or a doctor anywhere, as you know, if someone doesn't like the staff, they're going to leave no matter how amazing of a doctor or chiropractor you are. They're just going to leave because they don't like your staff, or the staff messes up on billing or scheduling, or I don't know, something. They're going to leave. And it's not that it's about you, it's the staffing. So how are we going to find this great staff? Here's a great quote. Your business will only grow to the level of your people, and your people will only grow to the level of your leadership. I think that one really hits. I've been in business for 18 years now, and the way I lead now is dramatically different than the way I did the first few years when I didn't really know about leadership, I suppose, or what it meant to be a business owner. It was more than just being the chiropractor in the business and marketing and networking, because the reality is you have to have great staff and you have to lead the staff. And more than once, it's like training. It's a constant cycle of doing it over and over again. But the thing is, we get frustrated when there's turnover, right? When someone leaves us or it's just not the right fit. But turnover is normal and it is expected in growth of the business. So we need to reframe that in our minds. And I say we, including myself, that it is normal and we need to expect that because we're growing, and the people that started with us aren't always the ones that are going to be there at the end. Like, there's different types of people that will help us through different cycles of life and business, and it is normal. I like to say that happy staff don't happen by accident, right? It's about us creating that environment and the positivity in our office, because there's just daily things that we can do to help positivity. This might be something that you're working on right now with staff, and I feel like it's something that does need to be worked on quite a bit, especially if you're not a positive person all the time. And I'm not saying you're negative, but are you like really overly doing the positivity and showing that and being a great shining example for your staff? That's hard. It's hard as a business owner. And even if you don't manage them, let's say you have a manager, is your manager actually doing this stuff though, right? Did you just promote someone from within and she's never managed before and she kind of sucks at it and you're constantly having to pour into them how to manage? I don't know. I just feel like you're never going to find someone that is going to work harder than you, the business owner, right? And we just have to keep being positive, doing these like daily habits to build positivity, like starting meetings, right? So let's start with some wins, right? Personal or business wins or gratitude, something like that. So you're starting your meetings, positivity, right? Celebrating milestones. In my chiropractic office, we might celebrate like who's completed their care plan or who's out of pain now, that type of thing. And ask other staff too. It's not just you telling the story. Ask them what they're seeing at the front desk or your assistant or your office manager. And then we're communicating like the purpose as to why we do what we do in our office and our business, and see, here's all these great things that are happening because of what we're doing. So being positive about that, right? Instead of on the flip side, having one negative bad apple, right? How many times have we had like a bad review or one bad patient and it ruins the next 200 patients or whatever because we just can't get over that one bad one? I know it happens to all of us because it hurts a little bit inside. But, really talk about them with your team and your staff, about even like the 5-star reviews that you get on Google. Print them out or show it to them, read them out loud, because we're all working together as a team and a unit to help people. So, print them, put them on the fridge. I don't know, be like almost like you would with your kids' pictures or drawings from school, right? Put stuff up there to keep people like positive and happy. And, maybe you set goals, and it could be something little too, like you get like pizza or you cater in lunch or something like that. So being positive about that and winning and sharing it, right? Don't just keep it to yourself. I have to say that I used to be someone that kept it to myself, because as a chiropractor, I'm like, well, I knew chiropractic was great and I knew how amazing and positive and life-changing it is. Why do I need to communicate that with my team? Like, shouldn't they know? But they don't. I know, shocking, right? But in my mind, I know how amazing and great chiropractic is. So I just assume other people do. And if you're not in chiropractic and you're another business, you might also be doing the same thing. You're an attorney and you're thinking, I love the law and I know everything about it, and I can't believe someone else wouldn't know. But we want to hear those wins because we actually don't know. And I can say that for certainty. Like when it's outside of the chiropractic or medical scope, I think to myself, what is it that you do? I don't understand any of it. I'm so focused on healthcare. And when it's outside of that, I think to myself, what is that? What do you do? What kind of job is that? So again, be positive. Also, I think being positive and getting the great staff is the constant training. I joked about that at the beginning because it really is. I think it would be amazing if we train our new hire and it just lasts forever and ever. But how many of us can raise our hands right now and be like, yeah, that doesn't happen? And I know that for a fact. So it's just ongoing training and education. It's, monthly, weekly team trainings. It's role-playing scenarios. Like everyone hates role-playing, not me, because I feel like that's the best way to over and over get it into their brain. Like, this is how we're going to do it. And it's not just them as my team. It's also me, because if we've changed a different operating procedure, I need to make sure that I'm also continuing that and I'm not going back in my old ways from 18 years ago. So that does happen to the business owners too. And we need to role play these scenarios too. But you could even encourage like your team to read or listen to a book. Right now, we are doing a little book I call it book club in my office, in my chiropractic office. And I bought them all this one book, and it's about positivity and it's super cute. And it's an easy read. So we do like 3 chapters ish every other week with our team meeting. And I get out some information. I use ChatGPT really to like give me some prompts for questions and ask them, let them talk about it. For instance, our book that we did is called The Energy Bus. And it talks about just like team mindset and stuff. And it's super fun. It's super cute. They really like it. Luckily, knock on wood, I have picked some really good books over the years. So no one's been like, ugh, I have to read it. They're actually like super excited about reading it. That being said, make sure you know your team, because I actually know that my team are readers. They don't have a lot of time. So I will either buy them the book or I will buy them like the Audible or reimburse them or whatever it is, because then they can just listen to it when they commute. But if your team are not book people, then this might not be the right one for you. But again, you have to find out about your team. But the constant training just really builds like confidence in them too, that they know what they're doing and they know what you want as the business owner or leader. It helps with like consistency in service. And because we know from these huge multi-billion-dollar corporations that they're consistent in their service over and over, they get the same product and you get the same service, ideally, right? But it shows them too that you are investing like your time in them. And sometimes it's money because you might be paying for training too, but you're investing in them. And I believe that that helps them and boosts their confidence too. So people don't really quit their jobs, they quit stagnation. So keep things going, keep the training constant, move things around. I also want to think about another book. It's called The Love Languages in the Workplace. I'm sure most of us have heard of the book Love Languages, the 5 love languages, right? In the workplace, it's obviously different because there's less touching in the workplace, right? But I love that book. I love the quiz, and I've had my staff always do this so I know what they are, or I just ask them at this point, a new hire, like, what's your love language in work? Because people generally know what they are. And so, for instance, if someone's love language in work is like praise, then I'm going to make sure that I go out of my way to do that versus someone's like, my love language is quality time spent. Then I'm going to do some one-on-one training with them or sit down, take them out to lunch and ask them about their life or what they've been up to. And then there might be someone that's like money motivated and gifts. They're like, I love it when you give me a Starbucks gift card because I did such a great job that week. Great. But I feel like everyone's different, and make sure you really know what they are and what their love language is. Also, I've messed up with this in the past. And so I'm just speaking from truth that I'm so not good at praise. So so bad at it. And the thing is, because I think I don't need it. I could care less if someone praised me. But if someone was like, hey, Dr. Hillary, can I make those phone calls for you so you can get out of work early? I'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, you taking something off my plate and doing it for me is like the biggest deal to me in the world. So I would love that. So that being said, I'm a gift giver. And so often the way that I show my love is like, hey, I brought you coffee. I brought you this for lunch. I brought, here's a little Starbucks gift card to treat yourself. But then not everyone likes it. And then I'm sometimes like disappointed, right? Like, oh, I didn't get a big as reaction as I thought, or they've never even used it, or et cetera. They didn't even eat any of the breakfast I brought. So know what they want. I have learned that the hard way, because then you're going to be maybe disappointed and you'll think to yourself, well, why do I even do this? I know I'm not the only one that says that to themselves. Like, this didn't work out. Why do I even bother? Why do I even try? Right? That's not the positivity we need. Find out what your team likes, do the love languages in the workplace, and then also make a list. Have the staff fill out some kind of like questionnaire and keep it in their file of like their favorites, right? The number one thing could be, what's their love language? It could be, what's your favorite cake? What's your favorite cookie? What's your favorite drink? Non-alcoholic and alcoholic, like little things like that. Where do you shop the most? That way, when it comes, let's say, to their birthday or an anniversary at the office, you can just go back to this list and you can look and see what they like. And you don't have to guess, and you don't have to get it wrong. Or at least for me, I don't have to get things wrong. So, think about that too, as like, show up for your team too in the way that they like it. And, you can let them know too what you like. I literally tell them, acts of service. Yes, please do this for me. I would love this so much, but I don't, not that I wouldn't care, but if someone was like, hey, I brought you lunch, I would be like, thank you, but like, also like, how do we know what I'm eating that day? Because some days I pack certain proteins, et cetera, so I'd be like, not forced, but I would feel obligated to eat what they brought me or drink the coffee they brought me, even though I might have been like, oh, I wasn't going to have caffeine today, Anyways, I digress. So with staffing, always be hiring. So you think about this in the back of your brain. You're like, but I fully staffed. There's no way I could hire anyone else. That's fine, but keep that idea open. You're not being like disloyal to your team by always hiring. You're just protecting them so that way, if someone leaves unexpectedly, then you're not desperately trying to find someone. You're not trying to put them out, and let them know too, like, just so you know, I'm putting an ad out or I'm doing some interviewing, but it's not to replace anyone. I just want to keep options open for in the future. So if we do need it, just keep like a potential like hire list, or keep like a file of resumes, just things that you might need. I don't know if you use like Indeed or something like that, but just keep some notes on those people. And then, talk about your team and your company's like culture on social media, because you want to attract the right team members too. When you go to networking events and you're talking about your business, always keep hiring in mind too. I like to think of the people I'm talking to and I'm like, man, they would make a really good front desk person, right? Or I'm meeting other chiropractors and I think to myself, they would be a great addition to our team. I know they're happy somewhere else, but I'm going to just let them know down the road, if anything ever changes, please come to me first, because you are someone that I would like on my team in the future, right? It doesn't hurt to say stuff like that. Don't be afraid to, and definitely don't wait to the last minute, because you know what's going to happen. Those good people get snatched up, and then you're going to be kicking yourself for not doing it. Like, how many times has that happened? And I've seen that over and over again. But I feel like hiring is like dating. You don't really want to wait until you're lonely and you're looking for someone desperately, right? Always be hiring, thinking, keeping your ears open, that type of thing. But some takeaways for this podcast, if you will, is just to keep your team engaged with gratitude and purpose as much as you can. And if you are struggling with the positivityness in the office, then maybe this is like a daily or twice daily thing, right? Always keep training. And if you're like, they do everything perfect, then just revisit all your SOP manuals. Make sure that everything's up to date. Keep the training going. We just tend to start from the top of the SOP manual, go all the way through, and then work it around again. And that usually takes us at least twice a year to do all of that. Always be hiring to protect just yourself, your business, your peace of mind, because we all know how stressful it is when last minute we have to jog around and find someone. And do we always pick the best candidates when we're the most desperate? Probably not. I think you could probably say that in business and dating, if I'm right. And then if this episode helped you, I love it. Make sure you reach out to me, tell me some wins or something like that. Shoot me any like messages on Instagram if you have any questions about anything. But I definitely would love to help in any way. I've done office training with different offices, not just mine. I've done Zoom, I've done in person. So I'm happy to help you or coach you in any way you need with your team. So I hope that you enjoyed this short podcast. I like to keep them short and sweet, do some gratitude today. But the main thing is keep on hustling and making that money. Click subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and let's make some money.